With the 8th anniversary getting the Part 3 EZAs, knowing they are Blue Gogeta and Blue Vegito, we figured that now would be a great time to do a little bit of speculation on what the Part EX, if we even get it, what that could potentially be. I am not alone today. I am joined by the one, the only Jooky. How you doing today, Jooky?
I'm doing good. I'm just excited for the anniversary to reach its hopeful good climax. If some of these speculations come true.
I think it's hard to get a better climax than Gogeta and Vegito, but who knows? Maybe they have something under their sleeves. But kind of the purpose of this video is to just give you a couple of potential ideas that maybe you haven't thought of or you have thought of, and maybe we could all come together to kind of deduce what we think it's going to be. So I guess I'll let Jooky open up with his first idea, because he did provide some good ones before we started recording. So I'll go ahead and let him talk about one of them. Whichever one you go ahead and choose.
I'll just start with the duo of Goku Black and the Broly trio, the 5-year Yellow Coin LRs, because they're both on Power of Wishes, because obviously Goku Black's the Zamasu Goku body, and the Broly trio get wished back from Earth. So it makes sense. But I feel like, especially Goku Black is kind of in need of a buff. He's aged damage-wise, okay. Defensively, absolutely not. And the Broly trio only really found a niche use when Chilai came out.
Right.
And I think their design is really unique. So I think having them be better would help the game. Like, because, team building's a whole big thing, and having that extra Broly unit to stick on a movie boss's team would be interesting. Just as a floating support or something like that.
Yeah, you'd have to talk about how just like that Broly trio has like no categories, but when you mention Goku, just so people are under the right impression here, when he says Goku Black, he means LR Int Rose, just so we're all on the same page, right? But yeah, I mean, you said it pretty well, but just like the damage that they have, I wouldn't say it's really respectable anymore, but like you could throw him in as like a floater or something like that, and maybe he does enough damage to kill an enemy in like a one-turn EZA or something like that. But like you said, if he's taking hits, it's just like a hydrogen bomb versus a coughing baby, right? What? Like,
yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I mean, it's he's not really suited to age, and I mean, I don't even think his defense aged well. I just think it was never there to begin with.
Oh yeah, no, like his attack stats are okay because of the key rising mechanic. How like the way that multiplied was a little bit different, and obviously he's cooked massively by key 2 with each final blow delivered. If they just remove that from his passive and just give him free key.
That's the easy A. That's it. They just do that.
Yeah, just remove that, give him a couple of stat buffs.
Yeah, and you also have to remember that we've gotten a bit of an upgrade to that kind of saga, right? Where we have LR Merge Zamasu, and then one of the best EZAs they've ever done being the Goku Black and Zamasu EZA, where you have that guard while you're building up. It's super nice. So obviously they've tapered off a little bit because they came out in July, but still a very respectable unit. And the core 3 of those 3 could be like a team that you run in difficult content, because Merge Zamasu isn't dead or anything like that.
No, he just needs like a really good sort of like extreme 200%, because all the other Goku Blacks don't fit under Vegeta and Trunks' 200% because they're not on Battle of Fate. Right. So having that like extra 30% could really help the Goku Black units, because they all link really well together.
Yeah, so that is going to be the first idea that we have. For those who weren't listening, we have LR Int Rose and LR Physical Broly Trio. I think that would be, how many units, how many categories is that team on? Like 5? 4? It's Join Forces, Movie Bosses, Power of Wishes.
Bond of Friendship.
Bond of Friendship. Okay, so 4?
Yeah, 4.
4 teams, baby, getting a lot of buffs. But let's go ahead and move on to our second potential theory here. And this one should come as no surprise, but the Buu Saga has a bit of a theme going. So instead of the big daddies, let's talk about the one that could potentially also come too. That would be Tech Super Saiyan 2 Vegeta, who transforms into Majin Vegeta, and then Int Super Saiyan 2, I believe it's Angel Goku, who transforms into Super Saiyan 3 Angel Goku. Now these units did get a little bit better with the 200% leader skill they got at the beginning of the year, the Power Beyond Super Saiyan leader skill that the LR Gods brought. But we are a year past where even the 7 years have been power crept out a little bit. So obviously the units that just fell into their teams have been power crept a bit too. So I think that these two could be potentially really good, as they both already have kind of respectable attack numbers, and then Vegeta has that guaranteed guard with 6. Are you snickering over there?
Yeah, it's 6. It's 6 orbs. It's hard to get. If you give him,
hold on, it's just he can get guard.
Yeah,
I'm explaining the kit. All right. And then Goku has a chance to dodge when he is in that Super Saiyan 3. And when I say respectable attack numbers, I'm not saying like they're hitting 10 million, but you take a unit that's hitting for, I don't know, 4 or 5 million, probably given at a time. Then also, these are 2 units that could probably link up pretty well with the Buu duo and stuff like that. I could see a potential for a decent kind of resurrection with EZAs. And these are TURs that I think a lot of people will be excited about, as they are probably, at least to a gold slot in most people's boxes. So I'd say that this is one of those really common LR or TURs that a lot of people have, and could be a fun EZA. Obviously, wouldn't be as hype as the Part 3 EZAs, but I don't really know if anything can be.
Yeah, that's really the main problem, is that like you have to top Gogeta Blue and Vegito Blue, and a few units.
No,
in terms of interest, maybe niche, but like most of the time,
no. From a broad perspective, I don't think they can top these two in this specific moment. Like there's nothing. Like you'd have to make a standalone Beast Gohan and just release him, and I don't even know if that would do it. These 5-year EZAs people have been waiting for a long time, and it's kind of crazy to think they're here already, but. That's not what we're here to talk about today. We're here to talk about potential other duos. So, like I said, I mentioned the word Big Daddies earlier. Let's go ahead and save those. I'm sure you have a couple more cooked up over there, Jooky.
Yeah, this is a strange duo, but obviously we're basing it off last year's where they did 2 LRs with Super Saiyan 4 Goku and Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta. So this one would be LR Baby and Physical Angel Vegeta, mostly because Angel, both again sticking with the theme of yellow coin LRs, I think, other than the big daddies as you call them, these yellow coin LRs are the ones that need it more so, and also do kind of fit in with the theming. Baby for GT representation, and God knows we need a new baby, and Angel Vegeta because he can get the unit super attack with the new Dragon Ball Z LR. So it's nice to see. Hopefully that they get these buffs. I think Baby could be really good, seeing as a lot of enemies are Pure Saiyans hybrids. A lot of his kit is based around having those enemies on the field. And Physical Angel Vegeta just kind of needs a lot of stat buffs and like...
Just needs more defense. His attack can be pretty respectable, especially after like doing the You Are Number 1 active skill.
Yeah, that's true.
And like he already has a phenomenal linking partner with this Buu LR, so I think that could be 2 really good options. What's funny about LR Baby is that's one of those LRs I always constantly name drop, where it's like, what LR do you want? I'm like, I need new LR Baby. Like he's still one of those ones. He's like, people are like, how have you not pulled him? I'm like, I don't know. I just don't have him. He's just... I was literally like, when I was doing my 3 LR multi-summon the other day or yesterday, I was like, all right, just give me a copy of LR Baby or something and we can walk out of here victorious. But of course they didn't. So I'm not buying him with coins. You're not going to get me that desperate, but it's one of those guys that just keeps dodging me. But if he gets an EZA, he'll be on a banner. Surely I'd throw all my stones at that, right? Those are really high value.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, you get like the AGL Gohan and Cell that came on global EZAs. Their banners are fantastic. You've got like Int Cell, STR Cell. What more could you want?
That's a rotation right there. Yeah, so I'm starting to think I think the next one you have is STRUI Goku. Did you mention that, or was that
Yeah, this one was brought to my attention by our lovely Arc.
Okay, so
it's more so just sticking with the Spirit Bomb theme.
Yeah, because he's born from a Spirit Bomb, right? But the problem with that is that this one he's from the fight with Kefla, and I don't know if that would work, because he just kind of like taps into it during the fight versus Kefla. It's not because the Spirit Bomb, so I wouldn't hold your breath about that one, but obviously he would be interesting if he had a lot of defense, maybe a defensive gimmick like some damage reduction or a higher chance to dodge. I think he's already at 70 though, so I don't really know how they would do that. Because that's kind of his defensive gimmick is if he gets touched, he's done, but he can't take damage if he dodge, so... Yeah. Obviously one of those really good EZAs, because I mean, think about it. We're a year away from 99%. The 6-year LRs are going to be getting an EZA next year, so
yeah, maybe
we're still a year away, but it's like it's potentially there. So if AGL UI Goku and STR UI Goku's EZAs are still that good, that could be like one of the best rotations in the game. But again, STR UI Goku, I would say, is not. I would not put him at the top of the list. So is there anybody else left, or is it time to talk about the big daddies?
I think it's time. I think it's fair enough that we don't keep the people waiting anymore.
We've teased them long enough. Surely you could deduce who I was talking about fairly easily, but we are talking about our favorite worldwide download celebrations from 5.9 Mobile. I speak for everybody. our favorite worldwide download units, STR Vegito and Physical Boo Tanks. Now, STR Vegito is one of those interesting cases where it's a bit of a risky game they're playing with him, because what if he just doesn't have enough defense to be viable, but his damage goes up even more? Because, I mean, we're talking a unit that's doing like 2 million plus on crit counters, and that is a very hard, like, damage dealer to compete with. Like, you know, he still can do a respectable amount of damage with some of these units up there today, but every unit seems to do damage now, and it's the defense and offense that separates the great from the good. So hopefully they give him a little bit more defense in his Vegito form, but it's tough to say, right? Maybe they give him like an additional damage reduction, kind of like the Vegito EZAs that we have now, but he still can't tank supers. But to kind of counteract that, he also has the Scouter, so you don't have to throw him in front of supers. Like, it's like, oh, look, here's all these normals, and we know the Scouters or the supers in slot 3. Vegito can go in slot 1, take all the normals, do all the damage. He's ready to go.
Yeah, I think that's fair. That's what I was going to mention is, like, with the super, with the Scouter, it's easier to hide him, especially if they give him like damage reduction against normals. You can just throw him in. He could even become slot 1.
Honestly, because that's all they need to do. Like, to make that a good EZA, that's it.
Because he's, you know, as you said, he's nasty with crit counters. Being an STR unit, even if people just have him at 55%, you can get like Goku and Vegeta unit, so you can get him at least at 10 crit with some luck on the the year 7 anniversary skill orbs. But like, I think Vegeta would kind of change some teams a little bit, because his super attack seeking is for 10 turns, and if they change that at any opportunity, if they increase it or give him extra key or give him some kind of support, he'll just basically fit as a floater on most teams. You just transform with him, heal, and then
so
watch the world burn.
Let me kind of, while you're talking about that, it's like I can't imagine they increase the amount of turns, because like the minimum, so he's turn 4 under 77%. Like, so that means at a minimum the Scouter's going away, or it's going away on turn 14, right? And maybe you fuse him on turn 7, and then it's there till turn 17. And 99.9% of events these days, even with them trying to change it up a little bit, it's still not going to turn 17, turn 18.
Oh no.
Like the Sin Shenron fight that just came out is long. Like the first run I took about 15 minutes, but that still wasn't a 17 turn fight. It was just, it took a bit. And that's also because you got to sit and watch the standby skills and et cetera, et cetera. But I'm just trying to pad for time a little bit here so I can talk about what categories they're on. Because like I know one off the top of my head, Battle of Wits would be getting a huge buff, and I know that's like the LR Piccolo team, so that's very important. We have Majin Buu Saga, which could still use the help. Patara is obviously in decent need of some help right now, and then we just have, like, I mean, look at some of these like accelerated battle. Super Saiyans could use a little bit of a buff. We got Joined Forces, which is always going to be getting buffs. Final Trump card, obviously. These are just a lot of different teams that these guys can fit on that get instantly better, because the Scouter effect is still probably, like, aside from like guard or like 90% damage reduction, is probably the best defensive ability in the game. Because knowing where the super is, that allows you to take control of the fight. And in a game like this where it's so RNG dependent, when you can take control of the fight, that makes a big, big, big difference. Especially
in a fight like the new Sin Shenron where he lowers your defense. And like, you can put a unit there that can kind of survive that if they've stacked enough, and it's a lot easier to play around it, because the big thing that they're starting to do with a lot of bosses is either ramp up the super attack damage or make them able to super attack twice or 3 times in a turn, like the Red Zone Cell Max.
Yeah, shout out to him.
What a guy.
Everyone probably had the same reaction to that guy. He can super again after he did 2. You know what I mean? Yeah. So... yeah, but, you know, I feel like we've talked enough about Vegito. I'll let you go ahead and headline his counterpart. I'm sure you guys know who I'm talking about.
All right. Time for the margin power buffs. So, the main thing with, obviously we're talking about Boo Tanks, is he could really use, like, more chances to... because one of the big things in his passive is that he has a medium chance of launching an additional super attack. So giving him extra defense stacking on his 12 key, I think, would just instantly make him 10 times better. Because Boo Tanks is a good setup character. You know, he recovers HP, just has flat attack and defense, and getting, like, key 1 or 2 per type key sphere is really good. Giving him additional just key per general orb would help. Because obviously he has some decent key links with other Majin Buu units like Shocking Speed and Fear and Faith. especially Margin, I think level 10, but I think where this unit kind of falls apart for me is when he transforms into Buuhan. Because this is something that's irked me ever since he came out, which is, why does he seal the attacked enemy's super for 5 turns? It makes no sense. Like, I know they're trying to do the weird counterpart thing with the Scouter effect and the sealing, but it doesn't have the same effect as, like, UI Goku dodging and Evolution Blue Vegeta guarding. Not guarding, having damage reduction every time he attacks. Like,
yeah.
It resets, like, they need to give these units better, like, things to make them unique, because most bosses you can't seal. And by the time you get Buuhan off, a boss that could be sealed, like Broly or Sin, can't be sealed anymore, because you're on the final phase and you just want to ramp up that damage. So, honestly, the only thing I could hope for with this is just some better additional super attack stuff, better SA effects, and maybe some inbuilt crit.
So what we've been talking about these two, I guess this kind of just slipped my mind, but both of them on the wiki, their passives are only 2 lines. Like,
yeah.
So when we look at Vegito, reduces damage by 30%, an additional, so extra keeper orbs, and then just a medium chance of launching an additional super attack. That is such a basic passive for a unit of this magnitude.
Exactly.
And that means that, A, it opens up room for them to do a lot with it, but B, it also opens up the door for them to just, like, buff the numbers and not redo the kit, because they're not flat number buffs like we saw with STR Broly, where they basically had to redo the passive. But, yeah. I mean, you said it really well, where Bootank's kind of defensive ability, aside from the healing, is very counterproductive, because isn't it, like, also... So does it counter... I'm not sure how this goes off the top of my head, but, like, if he seals a boss and then kills him, is the next boss sealed too?
No, I don't think so, because based on the wording, I think it's those, because it's not a super attack effect, he seals the enemy for 1 turn.
Yeah, so not phenomenal, right? But
yeah,
sealing next to the Scouter is, it's bad. So hopefully these two with the EZAs, maybe they get like an additional line or 2 of stuff, because like these guys, obviously, like if we look at like even like a regular TUR that comes out now, they have like an SA and 4 unit super attack effects and all this stuff going on. Meanwhile, these guys are just chilling with like 2 lines. So hopefully, these guys can really turn out to be better, and Part EX can really kind of come through. But like I mentioned earlier, it's going to be really, really tough to top what we saw for the Part 3 EZAs. So, I feel like that's all we got for you today, unless you have anything you want to mention before we get out of here.
No.
All right.
Just chilled out on global side. This is just for all the fun for JP. Waiting until
at least
July.
At least this is coming. They're not going to pull a Gohan and Cell on you. Annie, they stay pretty faithful, so.
Exactly true.
All right, so let's close this bad boy out. Thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to leave a like if you did enjoy today's video. Let us know down below who you guys think will be EZAing for Part EX if it were to come for 8th anniversary. And subscribe here to 59 Mobile so you don't miss out on any of these discussions, lists, all types of fun stuff. But my name's Villuhfy. That's the other guy, Jooky. That's all we got for you today. Thank you guys for watching, and we're signing out.
See ya.